One of the reasons I no longer say thank God for certain things or in general is because it's a bit selfish to say that. And here's why. You often watch the news, for those who watch the news, and you hear of people who go missing, who have died, who have been murdered, who have been killed, whether through accident or somebody coming and attacking them or killing them, and you go home to your home safely and you say thank God. Thank God for taking me home safely. What you're in effect saying is that God has put favor on you and not the other person. And what that says to me is that when you're thanking God, or when I am thanking God, as people often say, thank God for taking me home safely, thank God I came off, I got out and I got back in one piece. In effect, what that means is that God is watching over some people and not over others, if you think about it logically. Because if a person is in danger and God keeps that person in danger and looks out for you for whatever reason you may think God is looking out for you, what does that say about you and what does that say about the God that you're talking about? What it says to me is that I am only concerned about my well-being. I might argue, no, it's not. That's not true. God has mercy on everybody, and God's will is and God's way is perfect. So I am not going to worry about the things that I can't prevent or can't control. God is in control regardless of what happens. And even if bad things happen to me, God is still in control. Okay? What you're actually saying is that God is never going to be held accountable for the atrocities that happens on this earth. And I know that a lot of persons may take offense to what I say and to the things that I share, but in reality, it baffles me how people cannot see the hypocrisy and the favoritism that they are seeking or that they are claiming that God has on them or for them. Just recently, I heard of a situation where somewhere I work, one state where I work right now, a person, I heard he was killed. His throat was slashed. He's attending university. He is in a course. He's trying to better himself. And somewhere down in St. Mary, some men or whatever the situation was, got him out of his vehicle and slashed his throat. A few days ago, I heard of a situation where a baby, a 3-year-old, and a man was the father for the 3-year-old were killed. A few months ago, about 2 months ago or something like that, or maybe sometime last year, don't quote me on the year, I heard of 2 separate incidents where a garbage truck crushed a young, I must say a 6-year-old or 7-year-old, and in the same interim, there was a man that was trailing a young girl, but some people caught up to the man and stopped whatever he was planning to do to that young girl. And when I read the comment section of those two incidents, they're not far apart. I could see people say, "Well, thank God that 9-year-old was rescued from that person." So I'm saying, what about the person that was crushed? Did God not see the truck? Because the person that was saved lives, attribution goes to God. But what about the person who died? What about that person the little girl that was crushed by the truck. God did not see to send somebody to stop that. So I want you to understand that what I'm saying is a lot of the things that people give God attribution for, and even the devil himself. Because in my mind, again, for those who pay attention to the things that I say on my channel, God and the devil they are abstract concepts of the mind. Heaven and hell, the same. These are abstract concepts that can be interpreted in many ways. So to me, there's no real devil, and the way people refer God does not exist in my mind. But playing along with their idea, are you telling me that the God that you believe in is so limited that he has to pick and choose who he saves and when he saves them, and it must be to his glory, that somebody like you can come on a platform and say, God be praised, to God be the glory, or things could have worse? Well, send prayers for the family of the deceased and loved one. We have to pray for our children. What? How does that help? This is not helping. It only helps those who actually think that this is real. But for those who are actually suffering and who have suffered, it means nothing to them. And so my view is this. Reality is hard to face. For those who are facing reality, the ups and downs of life, the uncertainty of living, the challenges that are taking place all over the world, the different corruption with government and government leaders, and the war and violence and crime and all type of different things, the sickness, the poverty, all of these things. This is the reality we are facing on earth. It doesn't matter which religion, it doesn't matter which culture, it doesn't matter which God. Most of the people on the planet are facing some serious challenges. Now, for those who are believers and sensitive to these topics, I'm not necessarily trying to say to you, oh, just stop believing. What I'm saying is that, can you understand why people like me will question these things? Can you understand why, when I look at everything that is happening in the earth, when I look at the many misses, the many times, quote unquote, God could have done something and failed to do it for whatever reason, yet people would come on and say, God save me and God protect me, not thinking about the fact that if you're in a taxi, for example, and you come out of the taxi unscathed after a crash, you're probably the only survivor. Oh, praise be to God. What about the other passengers? They did not deserve God's mercy and grace and saving. So I just thought that I needed to say this, because sometimes it does bother me. It bothers me because the reality that I'm seeing is contradicting the thoughts and the ideas that is being presented regarding this concept of God. I think I'll leave it there for now. Just a thought I wanted to share.